I am a little cat with official status, employed within the confines of a prison. I have heard from the prison guard that the individuals incarcerated here can be quite formidable and wicked.
Yet,
Why do they always place me atop their heads? Why am I relentlessly pursued by a group of brawny men seeking to kiss my paws each day? On the seventh day of my existence, I open my eyes to find a colossal hand gently stroking me, proclaiming, "This one is adorable. She has been accepted." I emitted a delicate meow. Alongside me in the basket were many other tiny kittens. I had the largest bottom, effortlessly pushing the others aside to claim the most spacious area. We were transported to a dimly lit location. The man carrying us proclaimed, "From this moment forth, those who exhibit commendable behavior may earn points. Accumulating 10 points will grant the opportunity to adopt a kitten." The men confined in their cages scoffed. Who would want to adopt that creature? Soon, a cacophony of jeering erupted. Amidst the raucous clamor of the men, I fiercely uttered a meow. The entire prison fell silent as a graveyard. Humph, have I instilled fear in all of you, my subjects? After a brief silence of several seconds, I inquired, "Dear guard, how might one earn points?" 1. The prison guard, a youthful and handsome gentleman freshly graduated, selected me from an array of kittens. As he caressed me, he instructed, "Little kitty, do you know how to meow in a way that would soften the hearts of these vicious criminals? Come, learn from me." Meow, he melodiously called out. From the depths of the prison, a series of retching sounds echoed. The guard's complexion transformed into a spectrum of colors resembling a rainbow.
2.
The existence of inmates within the prison is rather simplistic. Aside from meals and slumber, they engage in ideological education and labor reform. To earn points, one must exhibit commendable behavior. A week passed, and a few individuals simultaneously achieved a score of 10. These individuals were escorted to the basket to select a kitten. The first to approach was a remarkably towering man, towering over the guard by at least 2 heads, his muscular arms adorned with a thick beard, and sharp hawk-like eyes scanning the surroundings. He extended a hand, causing the kittens to mewl in fright. However, I found his scent quite pleasant, imbued with an oddly familiar aroma. The bearded man withdrew his hand, declaring, "Never mind, I shall not keep one." Following the direction of his hand, I laboriously climbed out of the basket and tumbled onto his palm, which was larger than my entire feline form. Meow, I mimicked the guard's call. "Please take me with you. I long for your companionship." 3. The guard was an emotional man, snapping photographs of me with the bearded man. In the frame, the towering figure cradled a small orange cat, and the gaze exchanged between them held a subtle warmth. "Brother Zhuang, how touching!" the guard exclaimed, tears welling in his eyes. The bearded man furrowed his brows and gruffly replied, "Who is your brother Zhuang?" As I was carried away, the guard called after him, "Brother Zhuang, the little orange cat is a girl. You will surely take good care of your daughter this time, won't you?" The bearded man offered no response.
4.
6 kittens were awarded to the 6 best-performing inmates, and the guard stated that henceforth, the kitten sustenance would be reliant on the points earned. The bearded man remained silent, but paid closer attention to the news broadcast and actively penned reflections afterward. His craftsmanship became more meticulous, even causing the sewing machine to emit smoke under his diligent efforts. I acquired a new name, Jiao Jiao. 5. The bearded man exhibited duality. In public, he appeared as a fearsome giant, yet before me, he transformed into an affectionate cat enthusiast. He exchanged all his points for scratching posts, luxurious litter boxes, climbing frames, and feline treats, filling our cramped cell with my toys. One day, the guard presented a pair of nail clippers, suggesting, "Brother Zhuang, perhaps you should trim Jiao Jiao's nails for her safety so she won't scratch you, right?" The bearded man meticulously rounded off his own nails before returning the clippers, stating, "No need. Jiao Jiao requires her claws for self-defense. She is a well-behaved child who won't scratch unprovoked." The guard appeared intrigued. "Brother Zhuang, you spoke quite a bit today." 6. The bearded man's neighbor was a morose man with long hair, which was against prison regulations. Yet, whenever a guard touched his hair, he would go into a frenzy. If left undisturbed, he quietly occupied himself, like a transparent entity, exceedingly well-behaved. Over time, no one bothered to address his long hair. While the bearded man groomed me, the somber man craned his neck to sneak a glance. Noticing his gaze, the bearded man lifted me, shielding me with his body.
"No peeking."
I mewed several times. "Good Jiao Jiao, let's not show him." The bearded man gently scratched my chin, lulling me into slumber. As evening arrived, the inmates had a brief 10-minute period of free time. The somber man hesitated for a long while before finally approaching with his head bowed. prompting the bearded man to instinctively protect me in his hands. Brother Zhuang, may I pet her? The bearded man firmly declined, no. The somber man gazed longingly. And when I looked up at him, I discovered brilliant eyes hidden beneath his long hair. Kittens are fond of clear, bright eyes. I leaped, landing on his head, my paws playfully ruffling his hair. He froze, bashfully exclaiming, A cat has jumped onto my head 7. I found his head quite delightful, with its long, fragrant hair. Yet, my true affection lay with the bearded man. Although he possessed but a few strands atop his head, his body was adorned with fur, fluffy and warm. Akin to me, surely, he must be my biological father. I nestled atop the somber man's head, inhaling the delightful floral scent as I drifted into slumber. The somber man wobbled, I have a cat on my head. The bearded man sternly warned, do not topple. If Jiao Jiao falls, I will hold you accountable. During the subsequent dinner hour, the somber man awkwardly supported me as we headed to the cafeteria. Amidst the crowd, a scarred-faced man bellowed, damn. Had I known, I would have brought my kitten to dinner as well. The bearded man's expression soured. Nevertheless, he assisted the somber man in serving his meal, wishing he could feed him directly, if not for the prison's policy encouraging self-sufficiency. 8. The aroma of food roused me from slumber. Meow meow meow? Is dinner already served? Why was I not called? Being an orange cat, I am unashamedly food-driven. The scarred-faced man, intrigued, beckoned. Come here, little darling, come to Uncle Scar.
Meow.
I bared my teeth at him, exuding a scent reminiscent of a tabby cat. Could a tabby rival my plump, orange cuteness? Go away. Brother Zhuang, it's truly remarkable. How did your Jiao Jiao grow so large? So glossy and plump. He chuckled. The bearded man chuckled softly. I rarely heard him laugh, which prompted me to glance up, only to meet his gentle gaze. My daughter. She takes after me. The scarred man scratched his head. I suppose my height of 6 feet 9 inches is still insufficient. A buck-toothed man at the adjacent table flung his chopsticks, producing a dull thud against his bowl, his eyes narrowing. Just a beast, who truly thinks it's a treasure. The scarred man glared menacingly. Jiao Jiao is a kitten, unlike you, who's a true beast. The buck-toothed man abruptly slammed the table and stood up. Who the hell are you talking about? Before he could finish, the guard struck him with a baton. Eat your meal quietly and refrain from stirring up trouble. The buck-toothed man glared at the guard. He insulted me first. Why don't you punish him? The guard shook his head. I did not hear. How terrifying. It genuinely frightened me, this little kitty. I burrowed into the bearded man's embrace, burying my head in the crook of his arm, leaving only my large, fluffy rear exposed. The bearded man stroked my back, smoothing my fur. The somber man gazed enviously, tentatively reaching out to touch the tip of my tail, gently caressing it. Hey, Brother Zhuang, your kitty is quite affectionate. The scarred man expressed with great envy. 9. After watching the evening news, everyone began working. The bearded man operated the sewing machine, his imposing stature rendering the machine almost diminutive by comparison. The somber man, originally tasked with making umbrellas, inexplicably applied to work on the sewing machine, insisting on being next to the bearded man. Occasionally, he would sneak a few strokes on me, revealing a look of bliss. Both men were rather taciturn, while I bounced around, leaping from the bearded man's shoulder to the somber man's head, filled with joy. Jiao Jiao, be careful. The somber man spoke softly. I thought I had heard him, so I extended my pink paw to stroke his head. Much to my surprise, he abruptly embraced me, burying his face in my belly and inhaling deeply. Good Jiao Jiao, so cute and soft, hee hee kissy kissy. The bearded man looked on in bemusement. The buck-toothed man is a newcomer, and he has not been welcomed by anyone. Even the prison guards treat him with significantly more hostility than others. The brooding man cautiously returned me to the bearded one and inquired, Brother Zhuang, what crime did the buck-toothed man commit? Rape, came the terse reply. Upon hearing those 3 words, the brooding man shrank back, visibly frightened. Do not be afraid. I am here. The bearded one continued his task without missing a beat. Brother Zhuang, what crime did you commit to end up here? The bearded one paused, his gaze vacant, as if lost in reminiscence. After a lengthy silence, he finally spoke. I killed a man. Under the warm glow of the light, a glint of something sinister flickered in his dark eyes. I killed an entire village. On this particular day during lunch, the scar-faced man swaggered into the cafeteria, proudly displaying a tabby cat perched atop his head. The cat clung tightly to his hair, causing the skin of his scalp to stretch and contorting his eyes into a comically exaggerated shape. My little kitty is quite clingy. It insists on staying on my head and won't leave, he chuckled. Isn't that our little orange one? Has it put on weight? The scar-faced man approached with a smile. He reached up to pet the tabby on his head. Come now, little tabby. Greet your sister, the orange one. The tabby, lying languidly on his head, meowed. Look at my owner. He is a fool. As cats, we generally regard one another with indifference, but today, I felt compelled to concur. Indeed, your owner is quite foolish. Unlike my father, who is tall, robust, and exceptionally gentle. The tabby, wise among cats, gazed at me with disbelief. You are foolish too. We are cats. And our fathers are also cats. How could a human possibly be your father? I spat at it. He is my father. He is my father. The tabby turned its head away, unwilling to meet my gaze, yet it continued its verbal assault. Of course, it's an orange cat. Orange cats are all silly. Just wait until you grow up and become a fat cat. The scar-faced man added fuel to the fire. Look, they truly share a wonderful bond. Within the confines of the prison, days turned into weeks and years. Today marks the anniversary of my first year, and the bearded one spent 20 points to persuade the guard to prepare a cat cake for me. The brooding man, skilled with his hands, crafted a small garment for me from scraps of fabric. The bearded one outdid himself, fashioning a tiny crown to place atop my head. What a round little face you have, the brooding man remarked, fondly stroking my cheeks several times. Several others gathered around to sing me a birthday song, and I joyfully mewed in response. The guard, drawn by the commotion, initially intended to disperse the crowd but paused upon witnessing a group of burly men surrounding a small cat, radiating warmth, and couldn't he help but join in. Happy birthday to you, they sang in unison. Following the simple birthday song, the men lined up to shake my paw before departing. I knew they were merely intrigued by my soft, pink paw pads. A grave incident unfolded within the prison. Among the 6 cats that had come with me, one white cat had perished. When the guard discovered its lifeless body, he noticed numerous tiny puncture wounds, akin to those made by a sewing machine needle. Its remains were discarded among the trash. With reddened eyes, the guard cradled the body and shouted in fury, "Whose cat is this? Step forward." A slender man sauntered forth, his triangular eyes and hawkish nose accompanied by a nonchalant grin. It was my cat. What of it? Feigning surprise, he exclaimed, "Oh dear, how did this cat die?" His acting was so poor that anyone watching would shake their head in disbelief. The guard swung his baton at him. "How dare you? How could you? It's just an animal. Killing one cat shouldn't add 2 years to my sentence, right?" The white cat had always been gentle in nature, yet it met such a tragic end. The guard, driven to madness, grabbed his baton, ready to strike. This was the cat I chose. I foolishly believed such a lovely creature could redeem your dark soul. I was mistaken. I owe it an apology. Several guards intervened, urging him, calm down, calm down. The slender man exaggeratedly shouted, "Is this true? Guards are attacking people. Guards are attacking people." The scene descended into chaos, and I noticed the brooding man seizing the opportunity to kick the slender man several times. Afterward, he feigned innocence, exclaiming, "Don't crowd. Don't crowd." I perched atop the bearded one's head, observing the commotion clearly. With the combined efforts of the guards, order was swiftly restored, and 2 of them escorted the slender man to the isolation cell. The scar-faced man spat on the ground. That beast deserves to die. It would be too lenient just to confine him. The brooding man shook his head. Confinement is the true torture. Imagine a person locked in a dim, 1-meter square room, surrounded by walls, devoid of sound, scenery, or conversation. Such a psychological blow is far more fitting for him. The scar-faced man became intrigued. "Hey, brother, what do? You seem quite cultured." The brooding man replied, "I was a doctor." Following the tragic fate of the white cat, the guard resolved that each day, the 5 of us cats must undergo thorough examinations. Any sign of injury would result in punishment for the one who adopted us. Thus, each day as health check transformed into a gossip session among the 5 of us cats. Cats, after all, revel in gossip. The tabby, believing itself the most astute, always insisted on being the first to speak, often shrouded in mystery. "Do you know who the smartest person in our prison is?" it inquired, tilting its head. The 4 of us cats feigned disinterest, knowing it was merely self-promotion. "It's that doctor," it declared, casting a glance in my direction. "My owner says that doctors are remarkable. After he is released, he plans to follow the doctor." The doctor refers to the brooding man.
"Why?" I asked.
"Little orange. You only think of eating," the tabby retorted. I leapt beside it, swatting at its frail body, sending it tumbling aside. My name is Jiao Jiao. I am not Little Orange. The tabby, resilient, scrambled back to its feet. I heard my owner say that the doctor has performed many surgeries and saved many lives. Do you know how the doctor ended up in prison? The 4 cats perked their ears, fixated on the tabby. I licked my paw, signaling it to get to the point or face consequences. He killed a man.
Why?
Because he is delicate and handsome, the tabby paused. Though I can't quite fathom human aesthetics, my scar-faced owner claims the doctor is quite beautiful. He was raped by a man.
What?
The 4 cats' eyes widened in unison. The man was tall and strong. The doctor couldn't fight back, so he was victimized. The doctor reported it, but the police said that no man has ever been victimized, so they wouldn't file a case.
Why?
Fool, it's some sort of law. Even if I told you, you wouldn't understand. In any case, the doctor was furious and stabbed that man 36 times, each strike avoiding vital areas. And the assessment was light injury. 36 times? Were the knives large? What does light injury mean? Wow, the doctor is so cool. The last remark was mine. After our physical examinations, the guard treated each of us cats to a full-body massage, and I drifted into a blissful slumber. In the early hours, I groggily opened my eyes to hear the bearded one speaking to the brooding man. I would like to request that you adopt Jiao Jiao after your release. The brooding man remained silent, pausing for a long while before replying. Jiao Jiao would miss you. The bearded one replied, prison is too perilous. I do not wish for Jiao Jiao to remain in such an environment. I implore you, I have some money outside. I have no need for your money. If Jiao Jiao is willing, I would gladly adopt it. I closed my eyes once more, convinced that this must be a dream. My bearded father would never abandon me. He adores me too much. It has been a week since the scrawny boy was confined, and he has lost his mind. When he looks at people, his gaze is heavy with fatigue, and when he meets their eyes, he resembles a startled bird. Yet no one shows him any sympathy. On that morning, a newcomer arrived at the prison, a rather unremarkable man, yet I felt an immediate surge of animosity. His presence was utterly repugnant, even more intensely than I reacted. The bearded man sprang to his feet, like an enraged lion, almost ready to pounce and rend the man to shreds. Zhuang, calm down, the gloomy man urged, grasping his sleeve. The prison guard shoved the newcomer forward, announcing, meet our new inmate. He is a human trafficker who has abducted over 300 women and children. Let us all keep an eye on him. The last few words were spoken through gritted teeth. The entire cafeteria turned its hundreds of eyes upon the trafficker, as everyone bit into their steamed buns, causing the man to cower and sit on the floor in fear. The guard turned and walked away. The bearded man strode forward, seizing the trafficker by the scruff of his neck, sneering, do you remember me? The trafficker trembled violently. I emitted a meow, and with a swift swipe, I clawed at his face, prompting a pain scream as he collapsed to the ground. Meow. For reasons unknown to me, I harbored an intense hatred for this trafficker, wishing nothing more than to flay him alive. The gloomy man approached, cradling me in his arms. Good Jiao Jiao. Don't scratch him. Be careful not to catch something. He cleaned my paws and stroked my fur. I was oblivious to what transpired in the cafeteria afterward, as I was taken outside by the gloomy man to keep watch. Jiao Jiao, do you know? Everyone in this prison is not a good person, including me. I nudged him with my round head. But how many are forced by life's circumstances, and how many are simply born wicked? I was sentenced to 3 years. When I am released, I will be 33. I possess knowledge, skills, wealth, and a future, yet Zhuang has no future left. I wriggled from his embrace, meow. His finger brushed my forehead, and he exclaimed in delight, Jiao Jiao, you truly understand my words, don't you? Wasn't he that obvious? Cats are quite intelligent. Zhuang was once an accomplished athlete, a basketball player with a promising future. He had a daughter, coincidentally named Jiao Jiao, just like you. It was through the gloomy man's narration that I learned of the bearded man's story. He was a towering, robust basketball player, with a harmonious family life, a dutiful wife, and a respectful daughter. Everything came to a sudden halt one day when his 13-year-old daughter vanished. Right on her way home from school, she had inherited his height, already standing over 1.7 meters at 13, yet still retaining the innocence of childhood. On that fateful day, as he played basketball in a distant city and his wife underwent a minor gynecological procedure, his daughter assured her, don't worry, Mom. I'm tall and strong. If a bad guy comes, I'll handle him. If 2 come, I'll take them both on. His wife smiled. All right. Then I'll take a break today and see if you can find your way home. The school was just a kilometer away, a mere few minutes' walk.
Yet,
It was in that short distance that his daughter disappeared. By the time he rushed back, his wife was on the brink of death, pleading with him. You must find Jiao Jiao. You must bring her back. The surveillance footage revealed an elderly woman who had stumbled, with his daughter helping her home, only to vanish into an unmonitored alley. After that, he ceased playing basketball, spending all his savings to scour every mountainous region in the country in search of his daughter. His perseverance bore fruit, and on the 8th year, he found her in a village where sons were favored and many baby girls were drowned. In a place with a severely skewed gender ratio, the village began to purchase women. When he arrived, he discovered his daughter confined in a pigsty, barely clothed and on the brink of death. At the moment their eyes met, she widened hers in shock before shamefully lowering her gaze. How could she face her father in such a state? Understanding that he could not confront the entire village, he declared, I want to buy this woman. However, that very night, Jiao Jiao was strangled in the pigsty. All the women in the village were bought, and none were permitted to escape. Otherwise, the entire village would suffer dire consequences. Subsequently, the bearded man lost his sanity. He remained in the village, employing every means to slaughter its inhabitants, burning, chopping, poisoning. When the police arrived, he was just finishing off the last of them, the village chief, Lu Lao Si. Thus, he was arrested. The police stated, You are suspected of murdering Lu Lao Si. Come with us. At the police station, they treated him relatively well, offering him water and showing him a photograph. The man in this picture is the one who abducted your daughter. We are actively pursuing him. Legally, you have committed a crime and must face the consequences, but personally, I thank you, one officer said. The people in that village are insane. We know they traffic women. The police have intervened multiple times, only to be violently attacked by the villagers. Even now, several of our officers are recovering from injuries inflicted by their tools. The bearded man's lips trembled. Will I receive the death penalty? The officer patted his shoulder. I am a witness. I saw you kill Lu Lao Si, but I didn't see anything else. Thus, the bearded man was sent to this prison, where, barring unforeseen circumstances, he would spend the rest of his days. Upon returning with the gloomy man, I found the trafficker thoroughly beaten, his body devoid of unscathed flesh. Just then, the guards burst in, brandishing their batons and shouting, What is going on? Who authorized this fight? Break it up. The crowd dispersed in a frenzy. The trafficker, like a rat scurrying across the street, was kicked by anyone who held a grudge against him. The worst part was that he was taken out for private interrogations by the guards daily. I heard from the gloomy man that the reason the trafficker was not sentenced to death was due to the urgency of rescuing the many victims he had trafficked. Each day, he was relentlessly questioned about where the women he had sold were now. After enduring mental torment from the guards, he would return to prison only to be beaten by his cellmates. Before he arrived, a certain buck-toothed rapist was at the bottom of the prison hierarchy, subjected to abuse from everyone. After the bearded man's arrival, the buck-toothed man's status improved, and he was the one who beat the trafficker the hardest. Neither of them were good people. They suffered their own torments, while I was merely a little cat. Visibly, I had grown plumper than the other 5 cats. And every person who encountered me would reach out to pet me, exclaiming, Zhuang Zhuang, we can put Jiao Jiao on a diet now. The bearded man grew increasingly cheerful, even joking with his fellow inmates. What nonsense. Our Jiao Jiao is just fluffy. She is not fat, right? Jiao Jiao. At such times, I would obligingly respond, meow. You're absolutely right. Today it's Jiao Jiao's turn to perch on my head, isn't it? Not at all, I was here first. Jiao Jiao is getting bigger. She must be nearing 20 pounds now. The gloomy man replied, Yes, she is 15 pounds now. She can no longer stand on my head, only squat on my shoulder. Once again, it was time for the evening health check. Today, the guards were particularly gentle, treating us to delicious food and taking us out to play. Little did we know that as soon as we stepped outside, all 5 of us cats fainted. Upon awakening once more, I was greeted by the sorrowful lamentations of the only male cat among the 5, a sleek black feline with large, amber eyes. Woe is me! My precious jewels are gone, it cried, merging seamlessly with the night. Even the moon seemed to shed tears for it. A sense of loss washed over me as well, yet the vague restlessness within my being dissipated. I placed my paw gently on the black cat's back, offering comfort. Fear not, it is merely the absence of 2 gemstones. It turned its head defiantly. You cannot comprehend. You know nothing. This is a matter of my dignity as a tomcat. The tabby sighed, gazing skyward at a 45-degree angle, melancholically remarking, "As for me, I was born without such jewels." The black cat, adorned with an Elizabethan collar, resembled a refined lady. "Do not fret. I harbor no disdain for you." The tabby accused me of being foolish, though I believed it to be the greater fool. After all, female cats are naturally devoid of such ornaments. Nevertheless, the black cat was quickly consoled, and the two of them embraced, purring softly together. The silly calico began to cry, "I miss my owner. When shall I be returned?" Another calico, irritable in disposition, retorted, "What do you wish to do? Relieve yourself? We are noble cats. Little Orange, do confess, do you not miss our owner as well?" "That is my father. And my name is Jiao Jiao, not Little Orange," I snapped. After being confined for 2 days, the guard finally returned us to our abode. It was midday, and all were dining when we 5 cats suddenly leapt into the cafeteria. The irritable calico screeched, "How dare you dine in my absence? Caretaker, I shall unleash a foul stench upon you." The dim-witted calico leaped into the owner's arms, mewing pitifully. A high-pitched sound. How infuriating! The tallest among them was indeed my father, rushing towards me with outstretched hands. I leaped with fervor, but alas, I collided with his knee.
Impossible.
I crouched low, my rear end elevated, tail swaying with determination. This time, I would surely land in the embrace of my bearded father. With a mighty leap, I found myself indeed cradled in his arms. To my astonishment, it was he who had crouched down to embrace me. This cannot be. Where has my agility gone? "It's all right, Jiao Jiao. It matters not if you cannot leap high, as long as you can eat." The cafeteria was filled with joyous laughter. How vexing. They built their happiness upon the suffering of a little feline. Do they not feel a twinge of guilt? Meow, meow, meow. The room echoed with high-pitched sounds as the men lowered their voices, squeaking. Meow, what were they doing? What were they saying? It was to the extent that I would awaken in the dead of night to utter, "Seriously, are they unwell?" The humans were truly oblivious to the concerns of us cats. Recently, the new trafficker observed me with peculiar intensity, causing me to bristle each time. The bearded man had warned him, "Dare you gaze upon my kitten again, and I shall end you." He timidly replied, "I would not dare." The alertness of animals far surpasses that of humans, and I sensed something amiss with the trafficker. The brooding man mentioned that the trafficker had fallen gravely ill. With little time left to live, everyone believed he deserved it, offering him no sympathy. As one nears death, their words become sincere. He grew increasingly pallid, and within the prison, few dared to bully him, instead opting to ignore him. Little did they know that he was a concealed monster. That night, I was awakened by a tantalizing aroma, prompting me to nudge the bearded man. I was hungry. He snored peacefully, lost in slumber, and I could not bear to disturb him. The cell felt spacious to me, allowing for my escape. Following the scent, I spotted a hand holding delectable fish treats. The allure of such treats for a cat is immeasurable. I mewed excitedly. Raising my gaze, I suddenly recognized the hand's owner, the trafficker, who wore a twisted, deranged grin. I swallowed hard and retreated. "Come, sweet cat, come to uncle for some fish treats." I scratched him sharply. A cat's reflexes far exceed those of a human. He cried out in pain. Come eat the fish treats," he coaxed again. The aroma was irresistible, for reasons unknown. I could not resist the primal urge, and took a step closer, then another. Suddenly, he flung the fish treats away and lunged for me. "Aha, tricked you." I had no intention of approaching. I swiftly dodged, snatched the fish treat, and triumphantly wiggled my tail in his direction. His true nature revealed itself as he cursed vehemently. "Damn cat! You little beast, I shall end you. If I cannot get to that bearded man, I will surely get you." As he hurled objects at me, I leapt and dodged with fervor. Alas, had I known I should have shed some weight beforehand, I could hardly move. He appeared deranged, soon awakening nearby inmates, including the bearded man, who called out for me. "Jiao Jiao, where are you?" I hurriedly replied, "Meow." The trafficker's shouts grew louder. "Damn cat! I will crush you! I will crush you!" The bearded man pounded on the iron door frantically. "Jiao Jiao, come back! Come to your father!" The commotion swiftly attracted the guard, who dragged the trafficker away for a thorough reprimanding. He then lifted me, the plump orange cat, and returned me to the bearded man. Once the situation was clarified, I received a swat on the rear from the guard. "For your gluttony, for your insatiable appetite, how dare you snatch what is not yours?" I looked to the bearded man for help, employing my long-forgotten high-pitched tone. To my dismay, he remained unmoved, merely stating, "Serves you right. Did I not feed you well enough? Out of 10 orange cats, 9 are portly, and 1 lies sprawled upon the bed. Is this not an innate trait?" After the punishment, the bearded man inquired, "Are you injured?" The guard sighed, "Too fat to leap. It seems your neck was struck. I cannot ascertain the extent of the damage." The brooding man grinned, "Dear guard, please shave the fur around the impacted area to check for injury." Several men exchanged glances and chuckled. A day later, I was returned, my neck bereft of fur, leaving me in a ridiculous and comical state. I became withdrawn. The feline withdrew. The bearded man attempted to embrace me, but I turned away indignantly. He chuckled, "Oh, you still have spirit? Will you dare sneak out for midnight snacks again? Will you dare consume the offerings of a villain?" I averted my gaze, ignoring him. "Brother Zhuang, look. Jiao Jiao has a birthmark on her neck. Quite adorable." The brooding man ingratiated himself by offering me a fish treat. I meowed in acceptance, devouring the morsel. Yet I refused to look at him. "Do not think I am unaware. It was you who had the guards shave my fur." Suddenly, the bearded man froze, dropping a plethora of cat treats to the floor, and began to weep uncontrollably. A man towering over 2 meters, his cries surpassed all others, and his tears flowed abundantly. He stammered, my daughter Jiao Jiao bore the same birthmark." A profound silence enveloped the room as several formidable men began to dab their eyes. Everyone had heard of the bearded man's tale, feeling sympathy for him, pitying him, and even admiring him. The scarred man joined in the lamentation. "My little Tabby, how touching. Could it be that you are a lost soul returned to me? You cannot be my mother, can you? Mother, I have erred. I shall no longer indulge in petty theft. Upon my release, I shall amend my ways and lead an honest life." The little Tabby was cradled in the scarred man's arms, appearing utterly forlorn. This marked the first grand confession since the establishment of this prison, with many inmates kneeling in repentance. "I am a financial criminal. My parents passed away when I was young. I have known poverty long enough, feared it enough. And upon growing up, I became consumed with the pursuit of wealth, yearning for a better life. I am a wretch. Had my parents still been alive, they would have berated me mercilessly. I have taken a life, that of a troublesome child who spat in my face. In a moment of uncontrolled rage, I succumbed to my superhuman genes, for my temperament is tempestuous. I truly ought not to have been born. Yet there exists a faction of individuals, inherently malevolent to their core, who harbor no remorse. Nevertheless, the prison guard has proclaimed that my purpose is to provide warmth to the wounded and to guide the wayward back to righteousness. I believe I have fulfilled that role." The brooding man patted the bearded shoulder of his companion and chuckled softly. "Brother Zhuang, are you still willing to let me adopt Jiao Jiao after my release?" I widened my eyes in disbelief. What? That day was not merely a figment of my imagination? "Meow, meow, meow," I exclaimed. "Father, I wish not to leave you. Jiao Jiao has come into your life for a reason. How can you bear to part with her again?" The bearded man held me tightly in his embrace. The trafficker met his demise. Before his death, the prison guard delivered a piece of good news. The more than 300 women you trafficked have been rescued. Many of them bore children while in captivity, yet they resolutely returned to their homes with their offspring. The buyers are infuriated. You profited from their plight, and now, with the women and children gone, they stormed your home under cover of night, ending the lives of your wife and children. The trafficker's eyes widened in terror, struggling to breathe. "Rest assured, we, the police, serve the nation and its people, and we shall bring to justice those who have slain your family." In a frenzy of wrath and despair, he gasped his last, destined for the depths of the underworld. A year later, the brooding man emerged from prison, standing in the sunlight, ready to embrace his new life. Meanwhile, I remained in the prison, diligently working and keeping the bearded man company. He had grown older, and the prison guard's oversight had become considerably lighter. It resembled more of a retirement home now, filled with laughter, and he occasionally played chess with the guard. I heard that the brooding man lost his job, but he relocated to another city and opened a new hospital, flourishing in his career. He often visited us, always bringing a large bag filled with clothes and snacks. And here he comes again. Approaching 40, he appeared even more gentle and refined. Through the glass, he affectionately ruffled my hair, saying, "Jiao Jiao has grown." The bearded man beamed with pride. "Ah, my daughter takes after me. Perhaps one day she will play basketball." Their laughter filled the air. "Are you not seeking a partner out there? Living alone?" the bearded man inquired. I have no desire to pursue relationships. I bear a shadow concerning men, and I harbor no interest in women. My fondness remains solely for our little Jiao Jiao, isn't that right? I eagerly chimed in with a resounding meow meow. Epilogue. A youth has recently arrived in prison, remarkably young yet enveloped in a heavy gloom. The prison guard explained that he had been subjected to prolonged bullying at school, leading him to retaliate fatally against his tormentors. I understood my role. It was time for me to act. Meow meow, I called out in a high-pitched voice as I approached the youth, while behind me, my bearded father sat beside a sewing machine, watching me with a smile. Even within the confines of prison with you, it feels like home.
The end.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up for support. Until next time, farewell.